Hello, and welcome to another Genshin Impact video here on White Whale Gaming. I am your host, Whale, and today is just going to be a quick little show-off of the 4 remaining end cards for Heizou's Hangout event.
Navigating the world is a whole lot easier with a few different identities to choose from.
As a whole, this Hangout event has its positives and its negatives. Getting into the positives, it provides you with a unique furnishing item for your Serenity Pot house. Let me just scroll down to it for those who have not seen it. It is the fabled Emperor Oni Kabuto, which Heizou uses as a bribe to get the ever childish Arataki Itto to play along with a little, not really scheme, it's more of a little event of his. Ironically, using a con or a scam to show off the dangers of cons and scams. The main negative of this hangout actually also stems from this Arataki Itto questline within the Heizou Hangout event. If we go to the Shrewd Lady of the Grand Narukami Shrine line, branching off here, we will eventually get to The Curtain Rises, which branches out into 2 different outcomes. A happy Itto and a pretty darn ticked off Itto. Unfortunately, The Curtain Rises is a very long bit of dialogue, and even on the second time with me mashing X to continue the dialogue as fast as I could in order to get to the second branching end card, it took a good 5 to 10 minutes in order to mash through that dialogue once more. And now, let's get into the ending cards, starting, of course, with the one we got in the last video. Memories do not evaporate. The journey will end, but memories will remain. This is for getting to the bottom of the shady trade deals going on Watatsumi Island. There was one achievement not associated with clearing all endings that I missed during this questline, and in order to get that achievement, all you need to do is, after the confrontation with the guy at the shrine and the whole Goro spilling the beans to defuse the situation, before you go to talk to Heizou to trigger the dialogue that leads to this end card, you need to talk to Goro in the overworld and ask him if Kokomi knows about this. Now, on to the next 2, which are the next 2 that I completed. We get When the Truth Comes Out, which leads to the famous detective's principles. Some things will always be more important than the truth. Summing up this storyline, it was revealed that in a case from early on in Heizou's career, Heizou covered up some evidence in order to protect Ryuji, our lovable doofus, who gets beaten up by ninja dogs on the regular from the Bantan Sango Detective Agency. And in the alternate Inuma this ending here, I chose to reveal to Ryuji the full truth of the case, which causes Ryuji to go about making restitutions to that little pink-haired girl there, who is the daughter of a late important member of the second-ranking clan within the Tenryou Commission behind Kujo Sara's family, the Kujo clan. In this ending here, where as you can see Sango is about ready to beat the ever-living crap out of Heizou, with only Ryuji and the ever-so-flimsy Paimon blocking her path. In this one, I, the Traveler, chose to hide the truth to protect Ryuji from the potential crushing guilt that he processes in a commendably healthy way in the previous ending. Of course, Sango doesn't buy it, and is still ready to beat Heizou into a bloody pulp. Moving on to the last branching tree, we have the Ito tree. In this one, we successfully guided Ito through Heizou's little skit about scams and con artists to reach the desired ending that the two approaching Ito in the skit were trying to con him. At the end, Heizou reveals that he conned Ito in order to get Ito to participate, making Ito believe that the statue of the Oni Kabuto was in fact a real, genuine, living article of an Oni Kabuto. However, in the alternate version, where we let Ito go about things by himself, and while he does eventually reach the conclusion that a scam is going on, he blissfully is unaware that it is being played on him, and as such, Heizou fakes getting scammed into buying a fake Oni Kabuto instead of a real live beetle like he had promised Ito, in which case Ito hands us the beetle for our Serenity Pot. Like I said, The Curtain Rises segment takes quite a long time to finish. At least Ito's comic styling does lighten it up a little bit, but having to watch that same point twice, while sometimes better than having to repeat a couple steps before reaching a ending after a branch off, still takes about the same amount of time, in my opinion, as completing a whole 2 or 3 step branch would have been. All in all, I rate Heizou's Hangout as one of the better hangouts among Genshin Impact. And before I get too much more into that, I have saved all the ending rewards to claim here now on camera. For obtaining 1 Hangout memory, we get 100 Adventure Rank experience, or 1,000 Mora if you're at Adventure Rank 60, but I am not. 20 Prima Gems, or Primo Gems. They're primordial gems, not premium gems. But I've been saying Primo Gems for so long that is going to be tough to switch over to saying Primo Gems. And lastly, we have 3 Guides to Transients, which is Heizou's Talent Ascension material. For 2 endings, we have 100 more Adventure Rank experience, 5 Heroes Wit, also known as 100,000 character experience, and 3 Vayuta Turquoise fragments, once again lining up with them being Animo, and Heizou needing Animo materials to ascend. For obtaining 3 Hangout memories, we get 100 more Adventure Rank experience, 20 more Primo Gems, and 5 copies of The Only Truth, which is Heizou's signature cooking dish. This is... I think it's the... I don't remember the exact name, but it's sold by the food vendor in Rito, and it's the sandwiches that she sells. I know, it's a little strange. I was expecting one of the Inazuman soup dishes or noodle dishes to turn into this due to the fact that it is in a bowl and not a sandwich. And with having Heizou made 3 of those himself, we now have 8. The rewards for obtaining 4 Hangout memories are the same as the rewards for obtaining 200 Adventure experience, 5 Heroes Wit, and 3 more Turquoise fragments. And finally, the rewards for all 5 Hangout memories are an achievement for, I want to say, just 5, maybe it's 10 Prima Gems, we can check here in a moment, and the same rewards as the first Hangout memory, 100 Adventure Rank, 20 Primo Gems, and 3 Guides to Transients, for a total of 60 Primo Gems, 500 Adventure Experience, 10 Heroes Wit, 6 Turquoise Fragments, 6 Guides to Transients, and 5 The Only Truth signature recipe items. And that is all the rewards from this Hangout. Now, on to more of the topics of Hangouts as a whole. I have completed all Hangouts currently in the game, with all endings reached, including both of Noelle's hangouts. As far as how I would rate them, if we're going to put this in a tier list, for the one line about Paimon finally admitting she's emergency food, Heizou's hangout I would rank at a double S tier. Just below it in S tier, I would rank Ningguang's, because the storylines are all in all enjoyable, and we also get to see Ningguang in her alternate outfit from the Lantern Rite that is otherwise not seen in-game by any player who missed the version 2.4 Lantern Rite event. Below it in A tier, I have placed Kuki Shinobu and Beidou. Beidou once again has the same boost as Ningguang, being Beidou is definitely a character easier on the eyes, who the older, primarily male, but some others mixed in who had been clamoring for hangouts with more mature characters, as well as, once again, Beidou having some good story beats in her hangout. Below that, in B tier, I will place Yunjin and Goro, as, while not as enjoyable as either Shinobu or Beidou, they at least were not as boring or downright infuriating as some of the others. Oh, also Shinobu is A tier because Ito appeared again, and whenever Ito's involved, it's going to be a good time. His English VA does so much work. I don't know about his other voice actors, as I only play in English. I do not like reading if I do not have to, so I will prefer to save my voice and let the dialogue speak to me in a language I can actually understand. Below Goro and Yunjin in C tier, I have placed both Noelle acts, Barbara, Chongyun, Bennett, and Diona. All in all, these first round of hangouts weren't terrible, but they definitely could have been better. Noelle did have special meaning to me and probably boosted my opinion of it slightly due to the fact that I spent about 6 or 7, no, closer to 8 months, maybe closer to 9, in this game without Zhongli. As such, I raised my Noelle to 90, as her shield could do a passable, if not nearly as durable, and without nearly as much uptime as Zhongli's, replacement for the Geodaddy himself, while I patiently awaited his rerun. As such, I did enjoy learning actual something about this character that I was using on a daily basis, as she did not appear in the Mondstadt arc of the Archon quest at all. And finally, well, no, not finally, I've decided we are going to go to an F tier just now. The sole occupant of D tier is Thoma. Thoma's was, once again, it wasn't terrible, which is why it's in D tier instead of F tier, but it was, I'm going to say it, boring. The life of a housekeeper, even one as personable as Thoma, is pretty boring. The only redeeming moment came from the two samurais berating Thoma at the start of the Hangout quest arc, being forced by their wives to learn housekeeping from Thoma at one of the endings. Oh, also one thing before. F tier, as we should all know by now who F tier is by process of elimination, Chongyun's probably could have been B tier material if we had any introduction at all in the story to Chongyun beforehand. It just felt a little out of nowhere to just meet Chongyun, and while the same could be said for Bennett and Noelle, and actually Diona, for Diona, I give a bit more of a free pass to Mondstadt characters because Mondstadt is my favorite region of the game. Noelle at least has some sense of knowing about the Traveler because she is closely associated with the Knights of Favonius as their maid. And Bennett is a fellow member of the Adventurers Guild, so the team-up feels natural, even though the Traveler has not met Bennett in the story before. Now, our dishonorable mention, our champion of who has, in my opinion, the worst hangout in all of Genshin Impact, to this point, There might be some stinkers come 3.0 and onward, as by this point in 2.8, with all the drip marketing MiHoYo, or I guess Hoyo-verse as they now like to be called, has put out for Sumeru, that after 2.8, we will be getting 3.0. If we don't, and it's 2.9, well, this statement will age very poorly, but our dishonorable mention as of right now in version 2.8 is none other than the perpetually sleepy ninja Heizou. And there's a special reason why I despise this story quest, or this hangout, so gosh darn much. And it's the friggin' bonus achievements, aside from the one you get naturally for clearing all endings. And while Goro does have one unfulfilled achievement, that one's entirely just luck, and if I went back and ground it out, I could get it easily. Heizou's, however, is running this infuriating obstacle course fast enough, getting hit a few enough times, that Heizou grants you the Mujina rank. I don't know, someone's probably done it, but I am not that person, and I do not have the patience to keep trying over and over again. I believe the day when I actually did Heizou's Hangout, I spent, I want to say, 3 hours just running that stupid obstacle course trying to get Mujina rank. And I just could not. So, Heizou, on top of being completely boring personality-wise, having very minor roles in the Inazuma Archon quest, being the perpetually sleepy, doesn't want to do anything, lazy type of characteristic, and having the most infuriating hangout achievement in all of Genshin Impact, I award you the title of least favorite hangout in all of Genshin Impact. Oh, and I am getting the content creator syndrome of people trying to join my world. And with that, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about revolving around Heizou's Hangout, and that is the third achievement. All the way down here at the bottom, we see the 3 most recent Memories of the Heart achievements from Heizou's Hangout. This one is from Unlocking All Endings. I have already detailed Sangonomiya Supplications, where you must, after the confrontation at the shrine in the full arc that I did in my previous video, you must talk to Goro in the overworld and ask him if Kokomi knows. This one here is for on the quest line involving the case from early in Heizou's career, triggered by choosing to investigate the complaint filed against him. You must correctly deduce the motives and the truth behind the crime the first time, without Heizou telling you to try again. This took me a couple times, but I ended up doing it, and I found it more fun doing it on my own than looking up some sort of guide online, so I will not tell you what the proper dialogue options to earn this achievement are, and will instead leave it up to players to figure out this achievement for themselves. And with that, at the conclusion of what has been a pleasant surprise of a Hangout event, and my new favorite Hangout of all time in Genshin Impact, I would like to say thank you for watching. I hope, while short, you enjoyed this little bit of conclusion to Heizou's Hangout. I can't do an outro quite yet. I forgot probably one of the most important things of this. I didn't actually show off the actual cards. Or at least all of them. I think I showed off the first one. So, this is also not only for giving you, the viewers, a better look at it, but giving me more material to make thumbnails from. We will view all of these memories. I've already saved the first one when we earned it last video, but I have not saved any of these other ones. I knew I was forgetting something. That's why my outro was a little more rigid and, let's see here, than it normally is. Now, with all 5 of these end cards documented, I will do the real outro. And as you can see, we will actually do our outro from the Quests tab, because as you can see here, I have not yet started the Golden Apple Archipelago Vacation for version 2.8, the headlining event for this patch. I will be starting it in the next video, as I was waiting to resolve my computer troubles enough to be able to consistently capture footage before I attempted to record something that, if I missed out on it, I would not be able to play through it again by simply creating another account, and I did not want to lose that footage. So, look forward to the start of the version 2.8 limited time event, the Golden Apple Vacation Returns, Summertime Odyssey Act 1, and next time. I have been Whale. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please feel free to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. As always, comments are welcome down in the comments section below. Thank you, have a good day, and until next time.